so
This
that I will.
conference will now be recorded.
I'm just messing with you. Thank you. All right. So, like we discussed yesterday about dictionaries, we're going to go a little bit more deeper. So, just a quick recap: dictionary is nothing but a key value pair, a collection of multiple elements, which are nothing but a key value pair. Always remember, they both have to be there. Whatever key, whatever value is there, it cannot exist without one. Otherwise, it will error out. And then there were some rules that we saw that keys are immutable and values can take anything. So, and like I said yesterday, we discussed that it's basically a collection of such elements. So far, whatever data structure we have seen, I'm going to use all of them now and see how a dictionary element would look like. So this is the beauty of dictionary, and we'll see how it is going to utilize all of whatever we have seen so far. So let me go ahead and take an example, probably like a real world example. That's where you will also understand how dictionaries are used. So I'm just using it. I'm just giving a variable name as person. I'm going to store some values to it. So we were talking about Infosys. I'm gonna write this. That's used to be my employee ID in Infosys, so I still remember it. I'm gonna use the name Tushar. And so this is basically, if Tushar was working in Infosys, his data, how will it be stored inside a database, or forget about database, in general, in their servers. Let's say, I'm assuming, although he doesn't have to, but let's say, so 6.5 inches, 6.5 feet. I don't know, Tushar, if you're even beyond that, but I gave you some extra height, I think, today. Languages. So let's say Tushar speaks English, we all know. And Tushar, I'm assuming you also speak Hindi, but if not, I'm just gonna go with that. Anyways, this is just a thing. So let's say he uses these two languages and he's proficient with, and then let's say he has an address and he wants to use two types of addresses. One is a residence and one is an official address. So I go ahead with this. What happened? What else can we add? He is male, so I'm going to use M for that. And true is the boolean. Let's use education. And what can we use here? Let's use a set. So let's say he's undergrad. Undergrad in US means BTech. I'm also even going to give him PG as well, just in case. What happened? Cool. All right. Now, what else can we do? So we have a tuple, we have a list, we have a float. We're missing the none. We discussed this. Are we missing any data structure that we have discussed so far? What do you guys think? No, right? So this is my, what is this? This is my integer, right? Are you guys able to hear me? I don't hear you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure because it was so silent.
Yes.
Why am I giving equal to here? Nobody's stopping me. Nobody went to the class yesterday, huh? It's supposed to be colon. It's a key colon value pair. And this is languages. Just bear with me, guys, for one more second. And that's just a single character. So this education and 0 is nothing. I guess we covered everything, right? So this is my integer. This is my string. This is my float type. This is a list. This is a tuple. This is a boolean. This is a set. And this is a null data type. Did we miss anything, guys, so far that we've discussed? Oh, did miss one. We talked about complex numbers, remember? So I'm just going to give a variable complex and 4 plus 5j. So now that we have everything here, so see guys, whatever data elements we have seen so far, they all can be part of this dictionary. And remember, all elements are to be separated by a comma. So the comma is very important. You may ask, this comma may or may not be needed, but Python is very smart in it. If you don't give it automatically understands that's your last element. Even if you give it, it doesn't matter because it's going to use this for the curly braces for the last element. So as a general practice and a good practice, you should always give it or make a habit of it, I would say. So this is a real world example of a dictionary. So let's say if Tushar was in a company, then his data would look something like this. And this is how we see example of all the data type. That his employee number is an integer value, his name is a string, of course his second name would also be here, and then his height could be, or his weight, I don't know what all companies ask for these days, could be a float variable. This is a list that the languages that he speaks, or maybe this can even go for skills like C++, Python, etc. So that would make more sense. Then whether he wants to use his address as residence or office, and whether he's a male, true or false, and then education. And basically what I'm trying to say is we are using all the data types that we've seen so far under one element, which is the dictionary. So that is one of the use case of dictionary, that it can actually combine all the data elements, but it's not really necessary. You can leave all those, but it has the ability, or you should say that Python is giving you this extra data type where you can use all the basic data structures or basic data type elements into one and make use of it. So, and that's basically the beauty of Python, is what I think. Now let's go ahead and I'm sure nobody has any questions on this, right? Because I'm just declaring the dictionary so far. So see, if I want to print it, it's printing the whole dictionary in the same format as I gave. So it is able to take all the data types in it. Now, if I wanted to, okay, let me ask you this. If I gave this, do you guys think it will print this, or do you guys think it will print this? Or it will not print either of those? Question for everybody. So no answer?
So
I think it
I,
ID.
So I got one answer is
Yeah,
ID. Okay.
no, so I don't think I'll print that because it's separated by key and value pair. So you would have to do person dot key to get the keys and person dot values.
Nazim, I'm not asking for the answer. You have to understand that. You have to stop doing it. Sorry, because then others won't understand the concept. So you know the answer, I understand, but don't jump yet to person dot keys and all. All I wanted was, will it print ID or it print this, or you can say it won't print either. That's
Okay,
all.
line number 14 won't
yeah,
print
means,
anything, or
Okay,
maybe
perfect.
error.
okay, it should be like as it is not storing key in the index manner, means unhashable, so it will need to give error.
Exactly. So that is the idea. So remember, guys, as I said yesterday, the number one rule, where it go? So that means, like Tushar said, these are storing internally as hashing, and that's the reason you cannot use indexing on it. So it should be error. Let's see. Oh my
Okay.
God, it didn't show me error. It shows me none. Why?
Because it cannot get a value, so it's saying there is no value here.
So what is basically none? Let me ask you this.
Actually, you have
You-
given a key as a done. Zero is the key, and you pass that. Maybe it's
Right.
referring that key.
So, no, you were actually right earlier. So let me tell you this. Nobody's going to tell you this. You were actually right. This is an error. But the reason it didn't show an error is because Python wants to be very smart, you can say, Python interpreter. So not for all error types, it wants to give you an error. So sometimes, not all the time, because it's not always smart, it gives you none. So remember when we spoke about the none data type, what it means is basically, it's a better way of saying that you're in an error, you can say that, because it's pointing to nothing, zilch, zero. So none, and when we go to classes, we'll understand more. It's basically an object type which is returned for an error condition which could have been easily avoided. But if, let's say, it was a short error kind of a thing, then it will definitely give you an error. Or in other words, if that error was defined within the exceptions. So we have seen errors like this, right? Again, these are later concepts, but I'm just, did I ever print an error here? Yeah, you see this, right? Type error, unhashable type list. So these are nothing but basically defined under different classes, which are exceptions, catch method and all those stuff. We'll come to it later. But I don't think so. We're going to talk about it, but anyways, these are coming from there. So that is the whole idea. So just remember this, guys. Sometimes some people like to ask this in interview. It looks like it's an error, and like I said, you're right, it's an error, but the output will not be an error. It will basically point to a null data type, and that's why it's going to give you none. So that's a little important thing. Now, my next question is, like I asked yesterday, if I wanted to access to Tushar, or I wanted
just
to, yeah.
hello. Yeah, just sorry to
Go ahead,
interrupt.
go ahead.
Means I was
No, go ahead.
suppose that as we passed the zero, and zero, is it
Mhm.
referring the key or position? Means because we
It's
have
not
one key
referring
pair as zero,
anything.
which is pointing to none.
No, no, no. That's what I said, right? What your initial answer was right. It's pointing to nothing, and that's why it is showing none. Basically, it's pointing to null, no value at all.
Okay,
It's neither
can you
pointing
do
to
like
key.
that? Hello, can
Yeah,
you
go
do
ahead.
one thing? Means replace that zero with the one. Means at the place one colon none, and print the value of person of one. Means replace inside the dictionary as well. Zero replaced by one.
This one?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, now it prints none. So you're right.
Yes.
So you're saying it was printing this value. Well, this is new to
Yeah,
me.
means I thought it's referring it as a key. Means we are passing it a key.
Yeah, can you change the value of none, and maybe we will be able to see.
Yeah, value is nothing. It's the key, but this should not. Maybe I missed something. Yeah, that will work, Najam. Whatever you put here, let's say you say false or anything. That is just a value, remember? Yeah. So yeah, I'll get back to you guys on that, but that's a good observation, Tushar. It's actually printing the guys. Please go on mute. Yeah, thank you. So it's basically printing the value here. Now, oh, I know why it happened. I'll come back to it now only. So for now, let's do this. So actually, guys, now you would know the answer anyways. So if you wanted to print Tushar, or let's say you wanted to print height, how will you go by it? So now you have the answer actually right here.
Yeah, means we pass the key as a name.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to, but I took the wrong example actually. So the reason it was printing this was it was not taking this as an index. So whatever I said was right too, but the reason it was printing was because we have a zero as the key already there. You guys understand it? So, but what I was trying to show was if I go like this, would it go to my 0th line or not? But that will give you an error just like it did here. But the reason it printed was because we had an element in the key itself which was pointing to 0. So here the 0 was not taking as an index. It was rather taking it as it was matching the value to the key. You understand what I'm saying? Let me run this. See, now it is giving you a key error. Because I was actually going to come back to the same point. We cannot use indexes in keys. So when I gave this, when I thought I could use this as an index, remember in strings strings or even lists, we saw the first element or the 0th element, you can print it. It will not print you that because I took this, it was printing that way. So that is what I wanted to tell you, but now you already know my answer to my next question. So if I wanted to print Tushar, what should I give here? Should I give 1? No, right? It won't work, even though it's at the first location. But what should I give?
Name.
Exactly. So let's run it.
The single quotes.
So we
Single
have
quotes.
to key,
Exactly.
the name of the key.
So the key name has to match exactly. That's why I didn't give the code earlier. See, now I get Tushar. Now if I wanted height, what do I do? Height. So you're getting this value. So
So
that's
then
how, guys.
print the value, right? When we
Yes,
say print whatever in the key, then it print the value, right?
exactly. So remember I was telling you guys yesterday, because it's a key value pair, mapping of a key value.
So, Ankit,
Yeah, go ahead, Ravi.
For a language, we can use language and
yeah,
zero.
when you want to print English, right? What
Hold
is
on. I'll come to that.
Language
Let's
lang
go
comma
one
one.
at a time.
0, 1?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what it is.
that is what my next thing is actually. So tell me, if I wanted to print Hindi, how will I print it?
Language 1, comma 1.
Yeah.
So you're saying this comma 1, you said, right? Somebody?
Yes.
Okay, so let me so before I jump here, let me ask everybody. You guys understood this part, right? I think you guys got confused with the initial one. We'll come to it
Yeah.
later. But the way you access a value inside a dictionary, you have to give the key for it, corresponding key for it, and it should match exactly the way you have defined it here. I'm going to purposely remove this now. So if you give M, then it will print 2. But if you give quotes M, it won't work. We'll see it later. But now applying the same logic, somebody can tell me, I mean, I already got one answer. How do I print Hindi? So he said use languages, which is the key, and comma 1. Anybody else wants to give any other answer? Before I
Yeah, it should be like language. Then another curl that index part, and in that we put 1. Close that here.
I'm just going to put some short form here. So one answer is language, comma 1. And Tushar is saying language
Language.
1, right? This is
Yes.
what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else thinks it was not possible? We can only print
I
languages.
go with
So first of all, let's just see what happens when we print languages here. Let's see that. It'll make it much easier for you guys. I'm just combining multiple concepts here. So I'm getting English and Hindi both, right? You guys are able to see the screen. Now my ask is, I want only Hindi. So I have two outputs, two options here, and I don't know if either of them is right or wrong. Anybody thinks something else? So this is the right way of doing it,
go with
and
Tushar.
this would have given an error. So I didn't change it. There you go. So now basically this is nothing. If you remember, what is this? This is a list, right? And the way you access list is that you provide list name and an index to it. So that's why Tushar was able to tell me that list of 1. And here, how are you going to use the list element, or what is your list variable here? It is nothing but languages, because this whole list is stored under this key. And how do you access a key in a dictionary? Is by this braces along with the keyword. So that's how this is giving Hindi. Similarly, if you wanted English, it will be 0. So now if I keep adding onto it, you know Spanish then, Tushar? Maybe you do. Let me add Python here. That's better.
So
If you
always
wanted
list
to
always start with 0 like a array, and tuple always start with 1, right?
no, both of them always start with 0. So who was that? Sorry, in the 8 is showing.
Anand.
Sorry?
Mine is Anand.
Anand. Okay. So yeah, Anand, you'll have to probably go through the classes that are already done. So nothing
Okay.
starts with 1. Everything string, tuple. Basically, that's how the memory is inside allocated to the operating system itself. And if I'm not wrong, that holds good for almost every language, at least so far I have come across. But anyways, to answer your question, list, tuple, or anything that is a sequence, they always start from 0 and go to n minus 1 in this direction, in the x-axis direction. The y-axis direction, because you cannot have minus 0, right? 0 is only 0. So it will start from minus 1 and it will go up to n. So just remember that. So now if I wanted to print Python, what should I do? Do you think this will work?
Yes.
Okay, I got one
Yes,
yes.
Ankit.
Let's see what happened. I missed a comma. Okay, it worked. So just like I was telling you guys that, what's wrong today? Why am I not able to clear this up? Clear it and it goes away. Okay, something on. So like I was telling you, you can use basically negative indexing, positive indexing, doesn't matter. Again, the concepts that we've learned in list all apply here. Because remember, values can store anything. It doesn't have to be mutable or immutable, or we have to worry about it. And what is this? This is nothing but a value. So same thing goes for tuple. If I wanted to print off, what will I do? Anybody?
Add.
Nobody wants it to. Okay. And
We,
two?
we, no, we can take that bracket
To
instead just
provide
number
the-
2.
I'm getting a lot of background noise. Sunil, what are you saying?
No, I'm just saying that depends that what you want to call. So you need to provide the index number.
It's right here, right? In front of you guys. I want to print
Yeah.
OFF.
Okay.
So
So
what should
it
I
would
do?
be 1.
Exactly. So it's the same concept, guys. The same concept keeps continuing. It doesn't matter what you're trying to do within this, or within the list, within the tuple. The rules of tuple apply, the rules of list apply here, and the rules of set apply here. So, and whatever you want to do it. The reason I wanted this was actually we have already covered it. So if I was printing this, like if I wanted to print null, basically that's the reason I wanted to use 0. So I know most of you understood it, but is there somebody who did not understand the first thing that we did when I gave, that was my bad actually, guys. I shouldn't have started with that. When I gave this, why did it print null? Is everybody on page now?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. So Tushar, that was a great catch. I was myself thinking it should give an error, but it was pointing. So it happens, by the way, whatever I said earlier. Python doesn't give you an error for everything. It sometimes just points you to a null value, which basically is a smarter way of saying that, hey, you've done
But
something wrong. Go ahead and check.
Ankit, sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt. One more thing, as we are declaring it as with the integer, that's why it is taking, because I think sometime back when you removed that single quote from the character yum, it was giving error. It is not considering it as a variable or what?
Yeah, let's see. This is what you're saying, right? So now you get an error. The reason is because if you're giving it
No,
as
no,
a
not
string,
that. Not that.
yeah.
If you replace 0 by any character,
because so if you
like
are
A or
using a
B,
character,
put anything. Yes.
yeah. So if you're using a character, you have to give either a single quote or a double quote.
To make it a
Okay.
string, right?
Yeah, to make it a string.
No,
I mean, character is a part of string.
no, I thought
Yeah,
it will consider it as a variable. Means if we declare it above a equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, and then we use it, then
I'm not sure if I'm understanding, but let's see what you're saying. So you're saying A is equal to what? It's a
we
list, you said?
initialize it. No, it's just normal. Means a equal to 0, we initialize that variable,
And then use A null?
and now we
Is that what you want?
yeah, it's like
It should
that.
work. Well, let's see. Even I don't know. Oh, I'm printing person of 0 now. 0 doesn't exist, right? Well, actually, no, it errored out for that only. So yeah, it is not taking. I think it is because, oh, there's no null. Sorry, it's none. That is a problem. It internally means null. Yeah, it does work.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is just nothing but a substitution, right? You're basically substituting. That we saw yesterday also.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should work. Yeah, my bad. It was not null. It was none. But internally, it means null. So guys, I don't know if all of you know, I'm basically a C++ guy. So C++, everything is
So
null and all
Ankit,
those stuff. Yeah, Tushar.
sorry, one more thing.
No,
Means
no, go ahead.
if we use integer as a variable name, means then we don't need to initialize it, or it is considering like
Are you saying
again.
this?
Yeah.
Let's see. And what do you want me to print? The value for
Print
it?
10. Yeah, just print 10.
I don't think so it'll work, but let's see. It did, yeah. So exactly, the key can be anything. As long as you're giving the right key here, it doesn't matter. In fact, you're right. We saw this yesterday, right? We had a
No,
tuple
but
here.
if we as a key, if we use any character, then we need to initialize it, no?
No. None of this is initialized. M is not initialized.
No, but we are assigning value to it.
Not sure if I follow. So this is getting assigned right now. M has a value of true, sorry, not 2.
No,
So if
means
you want,
yeah, if instead of in you are using any character, only character, but not putting inside a string, then it will be a variable.
oh, this is what you're saying.
This is the variable. Yeah,
It should work. This is nothing but a regular variable, right? Let's see.
it will give error
Yeah,
that
I
it
think
is not defined then.
It has to be equal to, right?
no. Equal to is not the way you define.
No, but as we have not initialized it, that's why it is giving error. But
So
in case we are using character means integer, it is not giving error.
So I think the reason for this is not that what you're saying. That is a way to overcome it. So you're saying if you initialize it here, it starts working. Now I get your question. This is what you're saying, right? Now it will work.
Yes.
So yeah. So the reason for that is not really this, but that is a workaround, like I said. The reason this is failing is that none is an integer type, and a basically not even integer type. It's basically nothing. A could hold any value. So it is looking for, it's basically getting confused. Is this a variable that you want to store into it, or is this a value that you're trying to assign it to a integer? And because we have not, like you said, initialized it or given any value to it, so it is confused. What should I use A as? That's why it's saying name A is not defined. That is the only reason. So it basically, let me see another thing. Is none, right? If I gave a false, let's see. I think it still won't print. Same error. Yeah, same error. Because here we clearly want it to store what value? We want to store it as a string, but how are we giving it? Without quotes. So it is looking for a value to it. And most likely when you don't, not most likely, when you don't give it using a quote, it is looking for a integer value. But what are you trying to give it as a Boolean value? I think this should work now. Come on. No, it still doesn't work. I think because now my key changed. So I have to change this also. This we have to always remember. Whatever is the key, we have to always use it the same way. Yeah, see. So basically the idea is if you're using a character here for your variable, so either it should, on your right side, it should expect a string or a sequence. Remember, string is also a sequence, right? Or it should be very clear what are you actually giving it as a value. But if you leave it hanging something like this right now, my my interpreter is not able to decide what is this A going to hold the value. Can it be integer? If it has to be string, then of course I'm missing something because you forgot the code. But it can have a string, it can have a boolean, it could have anything. So that's why the reason this works is because now you're explicitly telling A to be replaced by 0. So when this line actually executes, it automatically becomes 0 as false, right? And internally false is stored as 0, true is stored as 1. So that's why when you print that without this, it works. But I think it's a good question. I can use this in my next interview. But everybody understood? Tushar, you got the answer? So
Yes,
anytime you're
Ankit.
using it as a string, you have to always define it. But if you want to use it as an integer, then you have to go like this, initialize it. You can even do 5 or anything, whatever you want. I think 5 is okay to
We
go.
can also give a hyphen 5, right, instead of false. Just not the number 1, row number 10. Yeah, just give me 5 and run it.
A:5?
Yeah,
That's just like this, right? No, that won't work. Because keys, I think, let's see. Let me first run it and see.
just give a single quotes in A.
No, that worked. That worked. Yeah. Because it's simple integer here, just like here. I think we can use this also example. This is what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
work,
because
man.
it's an integer. Yeah, see, because it's an
No,
integer.
it's not initialized.
No,
It's
not this
work.
one. I was talking about this one. This is
Okay, sorry.
initialization because now you are changing it
Yeah.
to as an, yeah. I removed
Yes.
the quotes basically. See, the point is, what won't work is if you're putting it as a string, right? This won't work. Simply put, because now it is expecting it as a integer. But when you put this, now it knows, sorry, now it knows that my key name is expecting a string value. It could be a float also, it doesn't matter. But when you're giving it like this, so both will work. Even if you do this, remember we saw that it will still print the number, because it is just like I said, right? String can hold anything. Now what happened? Where is my, yeah, this happened. Let's just come back to this later. See, it is still printing. Because what this is doing is, this is nothing but going back here, looking for my exact key match. Whatever is here, it is going to print. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even look for it. But when you're initializing it, or when you're giving the value itself, that's when you have to be very clear whether you're giving it as a string or you're giving it as an integer. If you're giving it as an integer, you can very well go like this, because this is just your regular, uh, what do you say, data structure, where how we create a variable, right? You can have ID, you can even go underscore Ankit or whatever you want to do. That's just the way you do it. So, but if you give it this, it will still print it. So that's why, like when we write dictionaries, right, it's always a good habit. You always give it like this, just for the sake of, you can say, brevity or something, just to look it easy. And that's how you don't have to worry whether you're giving it as an integer, then you don't want to put these quotes. So it's always better to use quotes everywhere, because that is always going to work. Simple as that. Okay, I have a important question to ask you guys. But is this clear? How do we access elements in a list? Sorry, in a dictionary? Okay, let me go ahead and change a bit here. So we were at languages, right? Now let's say by mistake, I added another S. Do you think this will work? This will print the whole list? I've added a
No.
S by mistake.
No.
Okay, so it will be an error. Indeed it is. Now, if there was a way, and this is what I was trying to actually explain you guys earlier with that zero value, what Python does is that, and this is not again a blanket change, you can say it is for, oh, before I actually even go there, you guys might even know the answer now, but let me just go ahead and try it. C++. I'm making you rich, man, Tushar. You know so many languages. Okay, DevOps. So if I wanted to print R, do you think I can do it? First question. Second, if I can, what would be my thing
Yeah,
here?
you can do it. Yes, you
Okay.
can do it.
And what should I give here?
Yeah, it's like print languages and then 0,
Four.
1, 2, 3,
Four.
4 and 2. 4
Four?
Two. Yeah.
and
Four
in
and two.
another and one more 2.
Yeah.
4 of 2. Like
Yeah. So does everybody understand this before even running? Or is there somebody who do not agree with this?
Clear, yeah.
Perfect. So that's how you get the R. So basically now what I did, I just added another list under the list, and that's how we get the elements. So that's good. Now I'm coming back to what I was
No,
talking
we are
about.
taking 4 as a English, Hindi, 1, 2, 3, 4, and how did we give it to?
So again, I think you haven't attended the old classes, so I would request you to do that, but I'll explain you quickly. But if you want a detailed explanation, we have gone through this, so go through that video, but I'll explain you. So see, like I said, right, let's start from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and this whole element is considered as 4. Okay, so that's why you have 4. So let me show it to you quickly. Sorry guys, it's going to take 1 second so that he also understands. He's new. So if I was printing 4C, my whole fourth element is getting printed, right? Just like I told you, 0, 1, 2, 3, and this whole fourth. Now my question was, I wanted R. So this is again a list, right? And see the output, it is being printed as a list. So again, what you can do is 0, 1, 2, 3. So that's why they said 4 and 2 for
Got it.
R.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Got it.
Perfect. Yeah. We have actually gone through this in a lot of detail. So if you want to go through that video, you should, I mean, if you have
Yes, I
time.
will. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. So I was here. So now if I give languages, Najam said it will give an error. Indeed, it does give an error. Now Python has a function where you can get the value. So just like the name says, get. So you can use get here. So print, what is it? Person dot. So you all guys know, right? VS has this thing. When you do this, you will get this. So get. And now if I hover on it, it will show me what does it take. So let's see. See, I don't remember everything. I also follow this. It says get overload key string. Okay, so it's probably expecting something. Let's see what happens first. If I just run this. This we all know is going to error out. So it says get expect at least one argument. So that means it is expecting some argument. Now let's say if I gave M, I want to take a simple example. What should I get? M should work. So I should get value of M as true, right? Let's see. I'm getting true. So
Yep.
now this is the thing I wanted to show you guys. So what get function can do, let's say you messed it, you gave a small m, what will happen? So instead of error, it is going to give you none. This is what I was telling you initially. Yeah, this was the thing that I was telling you guys initially when we were giving 0.
Got it now.
So
Yes.
yeah, Python has this thing. And like I said, I don't know why they even came up with, but this is an interview question. That's why I'm telling you guys that some places they do this, that for some things that they think this is like not a big thing, like not a, I don't even know how to explain this, but I'm trying my best. So for some cases where they think it could be an out of sight error kind of a thing, they just give you none. Basically what it means is it's pointing to no, nothing. But if, when you remember when we did this, it was giving a proper error. Actually, let me use the same example. See, key error. So and this you will appreciate more if we ever get a chance to talk about exception handling. When you go to exception, this is something you may not want to be, stopping yourself about. So you may still want to keep going ahead in your programming. So that's why they came up with something like none. So basically, all they're saying is something went wrong, and it's pointing to nowhere. Null means nowhere. You're nowhere in the memory. You have nothing to do. So that is the whole idea of coming up with the get function. You may ask me, Ankit, what is the point of it? It's just for an interview question. That's why I'm even taking it here. Most people ask you what is the difference or what is the need of get. You can say that. Then some people will ask you the same way like I gave you, right? Will this be an error? Yes, it will be an error. How you can overcome it, we just saw using a get function. It won't give you the exact value, but it won't even give you an error. So basically the difference is if you use get function and you give a wrong key by chance, you type a wrong key, right? I gave a wrong key here, then it won't error out. You will just get none. That's all. Not a big deal, but I just wanted to cover it up. So let me go ahead and put it in comment. What else are we missing in dict? So let's see, person dot. So default pop get. So get we just finished. Copy is the same thing that we've done. Okay, very important thing. I forgot about it. Now tomorrow there may be a requirement like you may just want to get these. I mean by these I mean ID, name, height, languages, and what are these? These are my keys.
Yes.
So basically, this makes more sense when you talk about a lot of data. You're talking especially about databases, relational databases, especially. One second, guys. I'm getting a ping from my office. Just 1 second. Yeah. So relational databases are mostly, you can consider the internal schema as a row versus column thing. So basically now there could be a requirement. You just want to know the columns. You don't want to know the rows. So is there a way? Of course, there are 3 ways. First way is you can go through this using for loop and you can pick out 1, 1, 1. That is a programmatical way, and that's how you will do in C, C++ if something like this existed, by the way. But Python is giving you a very simple form. So like I said, right, English, basic English, it gives you right there. If you do dot keys, so keys, and with this, especially for the person who joined today, this is nothing but a notation of how you tell it is a function, and this is an inbuilt function. We'll talk about functions a lot in detail, but just for now, it's a basic thing. And for function, what you mean is you input something, you get an output of it. That's all. So with this inbuilt function, what you can do is you can print all the keys here. So now I want you guys to pay close attention and see what happens. Come on. So what do I get?
Getting all the keys.
All the keys.
Second, guys. Boss is pinging me. Sorry, guys. Just 1 second. There will always be mismatches, of course. There will be. Sorry, I was talking on mute. Yeah. Sorry, guys. One of my teammate was pinging me. Yes. So now you saw, right? What are we getting? We're getting all the keys together in one. What is it? Did you guys notice? What is this showing as? What do you guys think this is? So this is nothing but a list, right?
Yeah, list. Yeah.
So it is showing me the whole keys as a list. Same way, if you wanted just the values, like all of these, then simple idea, use values and run it. See, you're getting all the values only. Look at this. This is so nice because now you're getting the list within a list, and then you have a tuple also in it and sets and everything. Now, if I wanted to get both, what can I do? So there's something called as person.items. So items, look at this very clearly. Let me put print statement. Guys, I'm getting my feedback. Can you go on mute, all of you? Thank you. So I'm just putting this to demarcate the difference. We run it again. So see, ticked items. What does it have? Exactly what we put it in the dictionary. Do you see any difference between this and how the whole dictionary was getting printed? Because end of the day, what is items doing? It is doing the same thing, right? The way I was printing the dictionary. So it is printing both keys and values. So see, key is ID, that is a value. This is the key, this is the value. But do you see any difference here? Do you notice anything?
Yeah, means key values are stored as a set.
Stored as a, you cut out
So
after that.
it store as a set. So
As a
not set. It's
set.
a tuple.
Yes, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
So overall, it is stored as a list. See, it starts as a list, but look at individual elements. See, look at this. What is this? This is a tuple. This is another tuple. This is another tuple. So is it safe to say, now we're doing the reverse thing. Is it safe to say that person.items or dot items is returning a list of tuples, right? This is my list.
Yes. Yes.
And these are my tuples. So now going by the same logic, if I do a reverse engineering is the term I use often. So if I define, so yeah, no,
List
go
of
ahead.
0 or list of 1, we need to able to print them.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take a simple example actually to make it easier because this will make you guys more. So I'm using this and I'm gonna add 1 comma 1. Let me make it this way. Makes it easy. 0 comma 0. Right? So what is this? This is my list, and within them I have 2 tuples. This is perfectly fine, right? I can print it.
Yes.
Let me see if I am able to print it or not. Actually, let me go ahead and put these under the block comments. We'll come back to this actually. So I am able to print it in the same way. So now just understand, try to understand and try to follow what I'm going to say. If I follow the same logic, I have almost actually exactly the same thing, right? If you look at it. So you would think, what should be the type of this? Should it be dictionary or should it be list? Because remember, this is also coming out of dictionary only.
It should be a list only.
It will be a list, it will not be a dictionary. So guys, this is the most important interview question. They ask you, can you, okay, let me first do it, then I'll tell you. Let me put a new list equal to dict of, I don't know if I told you guys yesterday, this is another way of telling that type of new list. So what do you guys think? It will still be list or it should be dictionary? One by one. Sorry, Tushar, what do you think?
It should be dictionary now.
It should be dictionary. Najam, what do you think? Talking on mute, my friend.
Dictionary. I'm gonna go with Tushar's.
Okay, so you're gonna go with Tushar too. Okay. Anybody thinks it won't be dictionary? I think it will be a list. No one wants to go with me? Well, that's good because all of you guys are right then. Let's see. See, now it is a dictionary. So basically, what I wanted to tell you was this is two things. This is another way of defining a dictionary. What was the first way? This, right?
Yes.
Before equal to, after equal to, and this is a second way. But the most important point, and this is your interview question, is there a way? Actually, this can be asked many different ways. Or how can you have a list? Even though it is a list, but you can still convert it into a dictionary. So a list of tuples, that is the point. A list cannot be converted because remember it's one-dimensional data. And this is still one-dimensional, but you're able to, let me also print it. Print new list. See this now. See, do you see the difference? See the difference between this and this. You'll clearly understand what I'm actually gonna say. So now you've basically converted this one-dimensional data into two-dimensional data, right? Because you have what used to be a value, what used to be two values in a tuple, now you're converted into a key value mapping. It's very important, guys. Still here, where is this printing? Here, right? Yeah. Sorry, till here, it was still one-dimensional data. It was still only a thing on x-axis. There was nothing like mapping or anything. We could use index and everything was possible. The moment you converted this list of tuples, again, I'm going to highlight this list of tuples because you need two values, right? I mean, two fields. Otherwise, you cannot have a key value mapping. The moment you use dictionary before it, the same data got converted into two-dimensional and is now using hashing technique instead of the indexing technique. This is very important, guys, especially in terms of data science. You will be using this day in and day out. So basically how I'll give you a use case. How you'll be doing is, for example, just a simple example, weather app, right? So you need at least two things, a day or a date when you want to see the weather and what is the value of it. And sometimes even degrees, Fahrenheit or whatever you want. So now you can have those as two individual lists. You don't have to worry about it. You can take them as rows, for example, is one list and columns as another list. But when you want to plot it on a graph, like, or you want to use something like SciPy or something, how you can do it? Convert it into a dictionary first, otherwise that won't work. So that is the beauty of dictionary, or you can say that is one of the many use cases of dictionary. But just remember, this changes internally how the data is being stored. You cannot work on this data same way as you can work it on list. So always remember that. Did you guys understand the concept here? I understand you might take some time to make use cases out of it. It's basically what you have to remember is a list of tuples, like I showed you the other way. Now we are just reversing it, nothing else. If you see how it is stored internally, this is how it is stored internally, which is nothing but a list of tuples. So now I just took the same concept backwards. I define a list of tuples as a list and I convert it using dictionary function. So now what do I get? I get a hashing or a key value mapping for those same values. This really helps, guys, when you're going to plot the data. Anybody has any confusion on that?
No.
Okay, perfect. So I guess I had some more stuff, but I guess for today it's enough. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Uh, I I think I've asked you guys to do a lot of assignment, but I haven't heard from anybody. Has anybody tried anything so far? Other than Tushar, I know he tried a couple.
Ankit, just a quick question. So, when you say assignment, is there something, some exercise or some, business case or queries were given? Because I'm not really sure. I joined yesterday, so.
No, it's just basic stuff. So I just give you questions, like I sometimes ask you here also, right? But you have to tell me later. So far we haven't done any use case based study or anything like that.
Okay.
So it's just basic stuff. So if I wanted to, for example, I think I asked you guys yesterday, I myself about that. How do you access the elements of a dictionary? So things like that. They just
Okay.
keep you going. And sometimes I post on the WhatsApp. So maybe Tushar or Sriram you guys can, one of you can post them back so that he knows what it is. So that would be like a clear-cut task that I
Yes,
want
yes,
you to
I'll
do.
let you know.
Yeah. All right, guys. That was pretty much about dictionary. Dictionaries are very important. They're used almost everywhere in data science. So try to understand this concept. Again, I cannot repeat it more than enough that I might start sounding like a father now, but I don't want to be. But try practicing more and more and more because that's what gets you ahead in line. When we go to for loops and stuff, we will, which is pretty soon by the way. So we'll see how we can even play around with these stuff and what all can we do with this. Now, okay, so just Sunil asked, right? I'm going to ask you for an assignment. So I want you guys to tell me, can I concatenate? So we've done concatenation also pretty much in detail in one of the sessions. I forgot which one was that. So maybe Sunil, you might have to go through it if you don't know already about it. If you know it, then just give it a try. So
Yep.
the question is, if I have two dictionaries, right? So let me just even give them an example. Dictionary 1 equal to 1 comma 2 comma, what am I doing? 1 comma 1 1, 2 comma 2 2, 3 comma 3 3. Just I'm making up stuff, guys. This doesn't make any sense in use case, but it's okay. So similarly, if I had another one, so the question really is that can I concatenate these two? And if I can, what would be my output? You can run it and see, of course, but try to come up with an answer or an explanation for it. Is it clear? The task they asked, what I wanted you guys to do, and this will be your dict.
Yeah.
What will happen if I do print dict1 plus dict2? That is what it is. I will share the whole file a little later. That's more like a task.
Okay.
So think about it, go through this, and let me know if you have any questions in this or any of the classes. All right, guys. And tomorrow we'll see a little more, and then we're done with data structures. Okay, guys. Talk to you
Thank you.
tomorrow then. Take care. Stay safe. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Thanks, Ankit. Bye.
Good. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.